Alright, so introduce myself. Alright, my bad.
Mi nombre es María de Lourdes Escamilla Romero.
My name is Angelica.
So my name is Enriquez.
Crecí en la Ciudad de México.
I grew up in National City.
I was born and raised in San Diego.
¿Qué fue difícil de crecer en una cultura que no fue suya?
El inglés, no saber hablar inglés. Hace como unos 3, 4 años quería entrar al hospital de los soldados, pero no pude entrar porque no sabía tenía que saber el 80% de inglés y no sé. Era un buen trabajo, pero no lo pude.
Sí.
Pero aún así es salido adelante.
Sí.
I had a lot of cousins, so it was pretty easy because they were the same. I don't recall having any problems, just the English part. Sometimes I would like not talk right, so then I would get angry and I would get violent.
I mean, when you're a little kid, you don't really realize the magnitude of kind of just being from a culture that's excluded. I mean, there's just these expectations placed on someone that looks like you, which is, oh yeah, this kid's gonna probably barely make it through school, drop out most likely.
Mexican culture thinks a lot, in my opinion, because it's not all of them, but this is based on what I know I was raised and I was around.
Yeah.
Mexican culture has a lot of machismo, meaning guys have more freaking preference, more status and stuff than females. I don't care if they have more status, but if they just respect, then fuck you, you know.
If I am losing a little bit of touch out of one of my cultures, or I would for sure say I had to be like my Mexican side, you for sure lose the practices that were done when your family was back home, or some of the practices that your parents did when they were young and they were back home, or even some of the practices that your parents did once they arrived in the United States as new immigrants. But that also goes to say, like, maybe I'm not becoming more Americanized, maybe it's just more of the adoption of the Mexican-American culture, of the Chicano culture.
Yes. American culture, I gravitated and I held on to it because I felt like I was gonna be saved. Which I know God saved me, and I know I changed my whole self, but in my mind, that was gonna save me because they're not like me. And that was hard because they're not like me. A lot of people, a lot of Americans, they're like, oh, you're too gangster, and they would step away from me, and I would be like, why don't they like, why, what's so different about me? And I had to change myself in the way I talked, I mean, because it was very that style.
Yeah.
So I had to get away from that, and I went into a completely whole different scenario, started listening to country music, which is American.
I feel like rooted in like the Chicano movement, and rooted in like even Chicano Park and the history here that's in San Diego. I feel like Mexican Americans tend to be more revolutionary, like, you know what I mean? Tend to be more like vocal of the injustices that they experience or have experienced, and I feel like they're more willing to change it.
My mom's nowhere near the person she is now. She also has to change. But before, she had her Mexican expectations, and they were harsh. She didn't accept the fact that I was emotionally aware, and I didn't know how to grow up with that fact that I was sensitive and that I felt everybody's emotions, you know, like an empath.
Yo me enfoqué mucho en el trabajo y no le di tiempo a tu papá. No sé, pienso yo que puede ser que así pasó. Porque yo tenía que trabajar mucho para poder pagar donde vivíamos, darles de comer, vestirlos, calzarlos. No tenía ayuda. A lo mejor yo me equivoqué porque yo pensé que el trabajo era lo principal y no lo era así. Lo que pasa que como éramos muchos hermanos y mi papá era albañil, mi mamá lavaba ropa ajena, trabajaba limpiando casas también, no se ganaba muy poquito en México y no se podía mantener la familia. Entonces nosotros no tuvimos estudio porque no nos lo pudieron dar. Yo estudié hasta el 6º año, fue todo lo que estudié y nada más. Yo hubiera querido estudiar más, pero no.
¿No podías? ¿Por qué?
Porque mi mamá me puso a trabajar y tenía que trabajar para ayudar en la casa.
I am for sure happy of my culture, my heritage, of where my parents come from. I've never felt embarrassed.
Got a lot of respect for her, my mom. She did it. I mean, she made it easy for us. We had everything. I mean, from what I remember, because she says we struggled when we were little, but she made sure that we didn't remember that part.
Yeah.
We were too small, so we had everything.
Which one was more important to you?
School, education, and I couldn't do it, so I installed that in you guys. I always said, study, fucking study, study. You guys could get anywhere you guys want with it. Just study. Fucking fight for it.
Educación, yo quería que ellos estudiaran. Yo nunca los puse a trabajar a ellos. Yo siempre trabajé para mantenerlos a ellos y para darles educación. Por eso es que yo me vine para este país.
¿Para la educación?
Para que ellos crecieran y tuvieran una educación mejor que la mía.
I was always working towards that my whole life, and then I got to a point where I was almost done with it, and I felt like I had nothing to show for it. Like I was gonna have my degree, yes. Nobody in my family has got to that point, but I wasn't gonna have a career. Like I still had to go to more school to finish my career. That degree didn't put like no financial stability, and I didn't have a house for my little one. Like I feel like I didn't have anything concrete. That kind of perspective I had on what I was doing ultimately changed once I graduated and I saw how much my accomplishment, how much it meant for my family, my mom, my grandmother specifically. I felt like through my graduation and through my accomplishment and through the fact that I was the first one doing it, I felt like they felt like they accomplished a lot. Like they felt that their sacrifices or the long days of work or even traveling to a new country and leaving everything back home was worth just watching me, walk the stage and get my degree. I feel like once I saw that, then it came to a realization to me that I was accomplishing something significant for not just myself, but for my family.